Thank you, sir. May I now request our honorable speakers, Professor Satyajit Dhar, CS Mamata Vinani, practicing Company Secretary and past Chairman, EIRC, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Thank you, ma'am. Having the chair. Shri Vishwadip Banerjee, Cluster Head, ICICI Prudential Asset Management Company Limited. Thank you, all the dignitaries, to take the chair of the dais. Now, I would like to request Shobhit Ghosh to present a flower bouquet to our Honorable Chairman, Professor Malayendu Shah. Please give us a round. I now request Urmi Ghosh to present a flower bouquet to our Honorable Professor Satyajit Dhar. Please have a clap. Now I request Shabnam Farzana to present a flower bouquet to our Honorable Speaker, CS Mamata Vinani. I would like to request Shomali Ghosh to present a flower bouquet to our Honorable Speaker, Sri Vishwadip Banerjee. Thank you, everyone. Lastly, now I would like to hand over the mic to our Honorable Chairman for conducting the session.
Now we will be coming to our own business. That is, all these investors education and investor protection fund, or this investors awareness in the projects. So what I have already said in my initial inaugural address, that what is awareness? Awareness means to know something in deep and be aware oneself before doing something. Because if you are not aware of something, how you can be able to proceed further? But if I say in that way, that how many of you, because what we are likely to say that you must literate yourself. The literacy is very, very important. Unless and until you have been literate enough, you can't be able to go for further progress. Investors means, the term investment means is the sacrifice of certain present value for an uncertain future reward. This is, as we have been in the academics, we know this to some extent. But if you ask the 95% of the people that what is actually investment, they do not know the ABCD of investment. Because the literacy or awareness among themselves, financial literacy, to be more honest, is so less. If I claim myself that I am financially literate, I will not do honor to my words. I cannot be able to propose any of the investment plan to you which can be able to generate the maximum returns. Because we are not very literate of ourselves about what to do next with our hard-earned income. So what I have said is savings, investment means sacrifice of certain present value for an uncertain future reward. Because when you are sacrificed, suppose your income is 100, expenditure is also 100. There is no question of any surplus income or surplus fund. But if you have any sacrifice of certain expenditure, you can be able to have certain savings. And whatever the savings you have, it is not that you just invest entire amount. So a part of the amount of your saving or surplus fund, you keep for your security or safety or for future use. Now, if you take that general mass into consideration, if you go there and ask them that do you know that where to invest, when to invest, how much to invest. So if these questions are being asked, there is very little even there is no one in the world who can be able to say that where to invest, when to invest. But because in the case of investment, there are lots of avenues are being there to go for making or putting your money. So there are lots of avenues are being there. You can put your money in some fixed deposit scheme, because when you are talking about investment, it depends on the characteristics of the individual investors. And when you pronounce the word investment, another thing that comes to your mind, that what are the risks that have been associated with. And the risk taking ability can be able to classify the characteristics of the individuals of the investors. Those who are the risk prone, because if you can classify the characteristics of the individual in terms of risk, they can be classified in two ways. One is the risk-taking investors, or called risk-prone. Another group that is risk-averse, those who do not like to take risk. So the investment avenues of these two groups of people are totally different. And if you want to put into the stock market, as I have already said, there are lots of avenues are being there. You can have the fixed deposit schemes in the banks or post offices are being there. You can put your money in the life insurances. You can put your money in some debentures where you can be able to generate some fixed return, or you can put your money in the equity market, where it is very, very intricate market, from where you can be able to make money because the risks are maximum. And it is being said the much risk you can be able to take, the much income you can be able to generate. The word can be underlined. But what the things are being there, if you have that knowledge, how to protect oneself, because in the stock market parlance there is a good saying, don't put all your eggs in a single basket. That means if you put all your eggs in a single basket and if the basket falls, then there is every possibility you cannot be able to recover anything. But if you put your basket, if your investment in different baskets, that if one falls, the others can be able to recover that particular loss. And in the stock market, in our subject, we have got a security analysis and portfolio management. And this kind of taking this portfolio, putting your investment in different portfolios is termed as the hedging, how to hedge oneself. But if you say these kinds of work, because it is applicable to you, we know because it's a part of our syllabus, we have to study. But if you put it to your rural people, they will not entertain, rather they will not listen to you. And if you go to the general public, they will not listen to you. If they listen to you, there is no question of the Sarda scam and there is no question of the Shahara. Because the one terminology, I do agree with every one of you, that if you can be able to control your greed, you will be always the gainer. But the things are that, suppose today, yesterday the Sensex crosses the highest, 22,000. Now we people are trying to go for putting their money on the hope that it will go further and further. But is there anyone else who can be able to predict? No, don't put your money right now. It is not the right time to put your money. And when putting the money, can you be able to consider the other aspects as well? Because the election is knocking at the door. All the persons have been very much optimistic. It is not that only the domestic institutional investors and retail investors have been investing. We have been banked on the foreign institutional investors. They are also very much optimistic. We can have a stable government. We can be able to, there are lots of different economic policies will be there. Automatically, we can be able to have a better prospect of the economy. We can have better return out of this investment. So there is a linking up. As a student of management, as a student of commerce, we always go for these kinds of linking of the correlation. But the topic that we are going to have investors awareness. We are talking about, because we are a very good number of people who are talking about the top of the pyramid. Because there is a book called by Mr. C.K. Prulha. There is a book, it is a very renowned book. If you have the time, you can be able to purchase it and can go through it. There is a called the bottom of the pyramid. And the maximum people are bottom of the pyramid. And each and every people have got their mobile phones. if you can be able to motivate themselves to invest at least 1,000 rupees and think about that what could be the mammoth amount of investment to the exchequer of the equity market or any other capital market or any stock, any of the market instruments. But another thing is that the things that have been talked about initially by the head of the department, that the rural people are less knowledgeable and they based on certain beliefs. And that belief, you cannot be able to go for making that kinds of belief within a short day, within 1 day or 2 days of investor service program. But it will be continuous one. And I will request all the students here to educate yourself and disseminate your knowledge base to your local people. As Professor Satyajit Dhar is also a colleague in the Department of Commerce. I am still a professor in the Department of Commerce. The additional duty that has been imposed on me, I am taking the responsibility from November onwards. I still go to the university regularly taking the classes there. And in our university, there is a center for excellence in equity market, because it is a center where we have got a MOU between the Calcutta Stock Exchange and the Department of Commerce. And for the since last year, as I have been heading that particular department, because someone has also taken over after this by taking over this particular charge, we have got that aspiration that how to reach the maximum amount of students so that we can be able to educate or literate some of our knowledgeable students. Because as Professor Hanglu is talking about, that we have been living in a knowledge-based society. It is not that the classroom teaching has been sufficient. If you go through the websites, if you go through any of the linking, then you will find that lots of information are being there. And it would be your duty to literate your house, because there is concept called, there is a saying, charity begins at home. If you do not inculcate that particular concept within yourself, because if you are asked, if your father asks you, are you as you are a student of management, a student of commerce, can you be able to prescribe any of the investments so that I can be able to generate? Can you be able to say? Can you be able to give the answer? Because we do not have that acumen. We do not go for these kinds of research. So I will request the head of the department, if the head of the department is present here, so you can go for making a center of your own, so that you can be able to imbibe some of the researches and go for, because a few years ago, at least 10 years ago, we were in the international seminar, and one of the ladies, she made a presentation on this investment. She is now been the professor of the IIT Madras. And that particular paper was how to make an investment, and he made a research work, and she made a selection of 10 stocks, and she made a regular, because you have said that the stock market is dependent on number of factors. Even the rainfall has an impact on the stock market. The economic development of a country is dependent on the stock market, or the different macroeconomic factors has an impact on the stock market. If you take a number of factors, because there are lots of researches are being there, if you take the number of factors and make your own game, because I have made a game theory that if I predict based on my perception, based on my intuition, that what should be the behavior of each and every stock in the next day, and you can be able, if you could be able to go for making that game for a period of 1 year or 2 years, you can be able to predict that market. So awareness comes in that way. You have to put it in practice. And if you can be able to practicing on these things, you can be able to aware yourself, and you can be able to channelize your awareness to others. So the platform are open. The platform is open rather. We have got number of persons who have been very much famous in their own arena, and the deliberation that will be continued by them, I think you can be able to learn a lot. That will be a case of value addition on your part. So please try to get as much knowledge from him. So I just making an aim of this, I just initiate that particular move. The speakers will be there, he will continue the deliberation. I may be excused that I may not be able to sit down for the whole day. I have to leave. I have got some preoccupation. Please forgive me for that thing. I wish every success of this particular deliberation. Thank you very much. So I think first the Professor Satyajit Dhar will take on these particular investment opportunities for your understanding. Okay? And
Chairman of this technical session, Professor Malayendra Shah, has relieved me a lot, and he has introduced the topic in such a nice way. I feel that I could skip so many slides and I can concentrate on some empirical area so that we can do justice to the available time. We are running short by half an hour. Okay, and just I am thinking that whether I should deliver it in English or I should use Bengali, as you like.
Sir, English.
I said what we generally do since, but I am not sure whether there is other person who will be interested in Bengali. Otherwise, in this type of program, we deliver in Bengali so that we can communicate better. This I am starting. My topic is investment opportunities. We have added the speakers like this. I shall speak on different investment alternatives available. Then our next speaker, CS Mamata Binani, will deal with investment procedure and a particular avenue of investment, that is through mutual fund. Investment through mutual fund, that will be taken by Sri Vishwadeep Banerjee of Prudential, ICICI Prudential AMC. Now, my topic is on what are the different investment opportunities available. Now, I start with the definition of investment. Investment is nothing but you are depriving yourself of current consumption for future consumption or future generation of return. It is not charity. And there are three things involved in an investment. That if time involved is higher, your return should be higher. The investment return is a function of time, and also it should protect you from inflation. It means your purchasing power should be protected. The third one is that higher the uncertainty involved, higher will be the return. Now, investment is a risk return game. Investors as a class are risk averse. They want what? Low risk, high gain. They perceive that risk should be very low and return should be high, but it never happens. Now, what are the key considerations? One is liquidity, that you should be able to liquidate your investment. You should be able to sell. আমার টাকার দরকার আমি বিক্রি করতে পারবো, নাহলে আমার রেখে দিয়ে তো কোনো লাভ নেই। Next, convenience. It means if you invest in a say art object, in an art object, then you would not sell it. Then that will not be very good for you. You should have convenience to sell it at ease. It should not be a procedure which involves a lots of time and energy. Then what is your return? It is after tax return. Tax consideration is important for every individual who are in higher tax bracket. And last one is safety, and it is the most important one. Now I am not going to investment objective risk. You all know that what is the line? Risk is neither good nor bad. It merely exists. It means you cannot say that every investment should be risk free. If every investment is risk free, then every investment will give you nominal return. Risk exists and we have to accept that. Now, how much risk should I take? It is the most important and pertinent question. How much risk should I take? There is no single formula to define that one should take that much of risk. It depends on so many factors which is unique to each individual. It is a tightrope walking. You have to decide how far you can go. Now, if we want to see the trade-off between risk and return, it is very simple trade-off. Higher the risk, higher the return, lower the risk, lower the return. You see, here I have given risk-free rate gives you zero risk, and rate return will be lower. Then come bond. Then come equity. Equity is the highest risk class and also give probably it can give higher return, but nothing is guaranteed. If I give you a full-fledged chart, then it is like this. First is treasury bond, then government bond, then corporate bond, then preference share, then real estate, then common share means general equity shares, then commercial real estate. Then you can go for exotic investment like coins and art objects. Then options and futures probably the most risky and most rewarding. And negative is also true. It is not most rewarding in positive sense. It is in also negative sense also. Now, just give you an idea of the investment avenues in debt area. You will just see that bank FD is 7.5 to 9%, company FD is 8.5 to 11%. This 2-3% increase is not coming free. There is no free lunch. When you increasing 2-3% return, you are assuming higher risk. Now, if somebody says I will give you 18% risk with low return, he is just fooling you. There is nothing that somebody is giving charity. It means somebody has to give you return after earning. If investment market earning is around 11%, nobody can give you 18%, 20% forever. I will take that issue later. But I personally feel for high net worth individual, I am not sure, but I request if somebody is in 30% tax bracket, do invest in tax-free bond. Probably it may not exist after the new government comes. They may not continue it. Since I feel that it is tweaking the market, and banks are in a very disadvantageous position. They have to offer same 8.75 9% with tax. And tax-free bond 8.8, 9.01 or 8.75 without tax. It cannot continue for long. It has happened, I have seen, in 2000 to 2005, there was government GSEC tax-free bond, then it was discontinued. Since it is, banks are not performing well due to this factor. Now, here come mutual fund debt-oriented scheme. Again, in mutual fund scheme, so many of us invest in savings bank. We are having 3 lakh, 4 lakhs in savings bank. But we can very well go to liquid fund. If we take dividend option of liquid fund, it will be entirely tax-free and return will be 7 to 8%. But we pretty well keep it in 4% savings bank. Liquid fund, you will get the money T plus 1 day. If you give redemption order today, you will get money in your account in next day. But very few of us take this opportunity. Liquid fund, you go for liquid fund if you have anything in savings bank.
Take down the notes there. The sir is saying it's out of this research. Take down the notes.
And what is the key drivers to read? That you should be knowledgeable enough. You should have some experience. And it is not that in the first day in the investment market you will think that I am a guru of the market. It is a learning process, a boring learning process. You have to see and understand. And last one has already been said that avoid greed, avoid greed. And what happens, I have seen that everybody enters with that idea that I shall invest up to 25,000 and I shall invest 20% in equity. And ultimately end with 120% in equity. It means not the money, again has borrowed some money, even wife's ornaments.
So you can draw this analogy when the girls go for shopping. They make a budget of 20,000, but they end up shopping for 1 lakh.
Now, enough planning is required. I should say that enough planning is required. Your plan should be specific. I call it smart planning. It should be measurable. You should measure it that how much return you can get. It should be achievable. It should not be daydreaming. It should be achievable. Obviously, it should be realistic and it should be time sensitive. It means that you create a plan at the age of 25 to 35. It will not valid when you enter in the age group of 45 to 50. Again, you have to change it when you have crossed the limit of 60. Okay, I am just skipping to consider that I have to complete early so that other speakers get chance. I feel asset allocation is the most important part of investment planning. Asset allocation means not buying shares. Asset allocation means to decide in which asset class I should invest how much. Asset class means some types of assets have same risk return characteristics. অর্থাৎ একই ধরনের যে অ্যাসেট যেগুলো রিস্কটা পায় সমান সমান সেগুলোকে আমরা অ্যাসেট ক্লাস বলি। যেমন ইকুইটি একটা অ্যাসেট ক্লাস, ডেট একটা অ্যাসেট ক্লাস, রিয়েল এস্টেট একটা অ্যাসেট ক্লাস। আমাদের ঠিক করতে হবে যে কোন অ্যাসেট ক্লাসে কতটা টাকা রাখবো। কারণ there are empirical research on this issue a number of times and research results are more or less same. 90% of return of your portfolio is determined by asset allocation. অর্থাৎ কোন শেয়ারটা কিনলাম এর থেকে আগে হলে কত পার্সেন্ট শেয়ারে ইনভেস্ট করব, কত পার্সেন্ট ডেটে ইনভেস্ট করব, ওই জায়গাটায় খুব তাড়াতাড়ি চেঞ্জ করলে ভুল হয়ে যায়। আগে ঠিক করতে হবে যে আমার এত টাকা ইনভেস্ট করার মতো আছে, তার কত পার্সেন্ট শেয়ারে, কত পার্সেন্ট ইকুইটিতে, কত পার্সেন্ট রিয়েল এস্টেটে, কত পার্সেন্ট ডেটে, এটা আমাকে আগে ঠিক করতে হবে। তারপরে আমাকে প্রত্যেক অ্যাসেট ক্লাসের আন্ডারে অ্যাসেট চয়েস করতে হবে। এটাকে আমরা বলি বটম ডাউন অ্যাপ্রোচ। I, on behalf of Department of Business Administration, I express my heartfelt thanks to Professor Moleyendu Saha for cooperating with us in conducting this session. Thank you, Professor Saha. Just see that if you invest in 1 lakh in 8%, you will get 6,84,000. And if you divide it in 5 investment avenues having 50% maximum and 0% minimum, then your portfolio will go to 9,62,000. The probability of getting higher return is more if you diversify your portfolio. অর্থাৎ আমি যেটা বলছি, শেয়ার মার্কেটকে খুব ভালোবেসেও লাভ নেই, খুব ভয় খেয়েও লাভ নেই। মানে এটা আছে, এটা কিছুটা এক্সপোজার রাখতে হবে। অর্থাৎ আমরা যা ইন্ডিয়ানরা কিন্তু রিয়েলি কনজারভেটিভ। অর্থাৎ মোটামুটি রিসার্চ বলে কেউ 20 to 40% এর বেশি ইনভেস্ট করে না। অন দি আদার হ্যান্ড ইউএস এর পজিশনটা আমি দেখছিলাম, দে আর রেকমেন্ডিং 80% ইন দি এজ ব্র্যাকেট 25 to 35, 50% ইন দি এজ ব্র্যাকেট 45 to 50 and 40% in the age bracket of 60-65. The রিটায়ারমেন্টের পরেও 40% ইকুইটিতে রাখবে। whereas আমরা যেটা বলি যে 100 minus your age, that will be the exposure to equity. Just you see how investor life cycle changes. Then at the age group of 25 to 35, you have to think about accumulation of money. You are not thinking that you have to spend very high. You have to have austerity at this stage since you have so many obligations coming. Now you have to have your house, car at the early age.